Okay, so let's go ahead and get started here. So, we're talking about increasing our repertoire, but we don't want to overwhelm ourselves and we want to stay excited about the songs that we're learning. So, what is repertoire? It's a collection of musical pieces that a musician plays. So, most of us have at least a few songs that we can play. Some of us have songs that we keep polished up, and if someone comes over and they're like, "Hey, can you play this? Sit down, play free release for me," or something. Some of us have those songs that we've been playing for years, and we just kind of keep them polished up and ready to play at a moment's notice. And then there's some of us who we're just not there yet, and that's okay. We have nothing to play yet. And so I'm going to address some of you who are beginners here. And then we'll go on to the more advanced levels. But if you don't have anything to play and you're just starting to develop your repertoire, you know, there's no shame in that. If you're looking over here at someone who has a lot of songs to play and they have 30 songs in the repertoire, and anytime they're asked to play for someone, they don't even hesitate. They just do it, because they've committed that to memory. If you're looking at those people, just don't despair. You will get there. It does take a little bit of time, but you will get there. So, what you can do to start your repertoire is to take a look at the songs that you're learning at your level. Pick one or two to practice until you've got it. Commit it to memory. I personally don't care if it's Mary Had a Little Lamb or Ode to Joy. It can be one of those very beginner pieces, but, really hone in on those because that's something you have. You can learn that. You can, learn that. You can commit it to memory, and then you can turn around and play it for somebody. Not everybody's going to expect you to be this concert pianist right now. If you're just beginning, you're just beginning, and that's okay. So, in the beginning, you'll be able to practice these every day in your practice hours. So, like if it is Ode to Joy, whatever, um, Mary Had a Little Lamb, that's no problem to be able to play those in your practice hours. But as we build and as we keep building up, you will find that you have some that are in beginner level and some that are more difficult. And you may find that you have absolutely no time in your practice hour to practice through all of these. So you can start by reviewing one a day and then pick a day such as Saturday or Sunday. I try to do mine on Saturdays, but sometimes, I just have to do it on a Sunday. And, just pick one of those days and block off time and just sit there and I'll practice through all my songs that I've already got under my belt that I want to keep performance ready. So it's crucial that you brush up on these songs weekly and keep them ready to perform. It's also crucial to play through them once a week while reading the music. Now, let me kind of help you with this. Some of you, you play through it, you learn these songs, and you're so happy with yourself, you commit them to memory, and then you never look at the music again. And when I ask you to play it for me, you've started playing it with bad habits. You've left out a few notes, different little things. So it's very crucial that you play through it at least once a week or once every 2 weeks and play through it with the music to be sure that you do not get into any bad habits. Why? Because as the more advanced students can tell you, you will pick up bad habits if you do not go back and make sure that you're playing it correctly. It is crucial that you get into this habit now because it's so much easier to keep something. It's so much easier to keep practicing something the correct way than it is to practice something the incorrect way and you turn around and you learn it wrong. Then you have to go back, unlearn what you learned, relearn it the correct way. So it's so much better just to keep it fresh. Go back over it at least once every week, once every 2 weeks, and go through it with your music. Make sure you do not get into any bad habits. And so it's crucial that you get into this habit now while you're developing your repertoire. So while you're developing your repertoire, I want to encourage you to also be looking ahead. Listen to songs that you want to learn, songs that inspire you. Okay. I don't want you to go out there and say, oh, well, I want to learn this song because I think I can. It sounds easy enough. But is that the song that you really want to play? Is that the song that you really want to perform? Or is it just because you think you might be able to? I don't care what your skill level is. Find songs that inspire you. Songs that inspire you to learn, songs that inspire you to play, songs that inspire you to perform at the piano. Especially if you're just starting out, make a list of songs that you want to learn, not songs that you have to learn. I mean, we all have songs that we have to learn, whether we want to or not. Songs that's in our courses that we have to learn because those are essential because they're taking the theory that we've learned and they're putting it into practice. Okay, so those songs are crucial. They're absolutely necessary. But whenever we're picking songs to keep us inspired, we don't need to pick songs that we have to learn, that we have to play. Now you may start there. You may start right there because this is what you have. But songs that you're going to reach out and say, okay, this is going to go on my goal list. You're going to find songs that you want to play, not that you have to learn. You see, what you have to do never, ever, ever inspires you. Listen to songs that make a list of songs. Listen to songs and make a list of songs that really speak to you, that really inspire you, that really ignite that fire in you. Then find the one song out of all those songs, find the one song that it would just be over the moon if you learned it. Now you set that one as your goal. That's your North Star. Make a playlist of these songs that inspire you and just listen to them. Here and there, if you're driving in your car, listen to it. If you're going for a walk, listen to it. You're going to hit the gym, listen to it. Stay inspired. So if it's in your skill set, your skill level, you can incorporate one of the songs into the songs that you're currently learning. If it is not, out of that list of songs, if one of those songs, or if none of those songs are in your skill set, they're not on your level of piano, that's okay. Continue to listen to it and see yourself playing it. Visualize yourself playing it. Why? If you don't have a vision of yourself playing more advanced songs, then you probably won't play more advanced songs. Why? You have to have a vision. If the songs are not at your skill level, then ask yourself, what do you need to do and what can you do right now to get you closer to the goal of playing these songs? Find what you can do to get you closer to developing that repertoire and do it. So a lot of times we know a whole lot more than what we do. We know what we need to do, but we don't do it. Think about the person who's on a diet and they see that piece of cake and they know that they should not eat that piece of cake because they don't like the results it's going to give them, right? But what do? They eat the cake anyways, knowing that it's not going to give them the results that they want. So we know we need to practice on these syncopated measures, but we just don't. Why? Could be a lot of reasons why we don't. Some of us may not have time. Some of us may not know exactly how to approach it. So we just don't approach it at all. Some of us may be held back by fear of criticism. Some of us may be held back by all kinds of things. So the reason why we don't do what we know we should do, that varies from person to person. Okay, so no matter what the issue is, we just need to close that knowing doing gap. So if you're a beginner and you have no repertoire yet, that is okay. It is totally fine to accept that you are a beginner. Everyone has to start somewhere. So take what you're learning, learn it, commit it to memory, practice it daily. Each week in one of our lessons on our one-on-one, we will discuss where you are with working on your repertoire. And do you have the song down yet? Is it committed to memory? Are you practicing the songs that you do have committed to memory with the sheet music? We're really going to hone in on that. That way we can build that repertoire. And sure, as you go on, like once you get to the intermediate level, some of those beginner pieces in your repertoire are going to fall off and you're going to replace them with much better songs. So, of course, as we advance, we'll drop the more simple songs and, add more advanced songs. So let's go ahead and we'll move on to the advanced students. So, to those of you who are more advanced, you already know what your dream song is. You've already set your goals. And so I'm going to drive this point home again because it's absolutely crucial for you to practice through those songs that you already have in your repertoire. It's absolutely crucial for you to practice those songs at least once a week, but it's equally as crucial for you to practice those songs while going back and reading the music. I said this before to the beginners, but it's so much easier to keep those songs being played correctly rather than going back and having to relearn the song all over again the correct way, unlearn those bad habits. And I know some of us know exactly what that's like. I know what that's like myself. So no shade there. So now some of you, I know some of you have 30 to 45 songs already in your repertoire, and we're continuously adding more. Some of you play in bands, and some of you are aspiring to be classical pianists, and you want to perform with symphonies, and that's wonderful. That's awesome. So all of us are on different paths, okay? Not just you, not just you, not just me. We're all on different paths. Everybody, whoever's going to be viewing this is going to be on a different path. So you that do play in the bands, you're getting scores thrown at you pretty much weekly, and it's difficult to keep up. I know sometimes you'll get a score from the band director and they want you to take the score home, learn it, and then come back the next week and play it. At least you have a week, because some band directors will just give you the score and they want you to look over it and, hey, let's go through this. And though that can be done, and I've done it, it's often nerve-wracking. So some of you who are aspiring to be classical pianist, some of you are stuck on the same song and you're just finding it frustrated with how long it's taking you to get through this song, and you're ready to get through this song and go to another song, but you're stuck. So what do we do? Now, this is going to work for both, classical and you who's playing with bands and getting sent all of these scores. So, what are you going to do with that? You're getting all these scores thrown at you. You've already got 30 scores to learn, or you've got 30 scores that you have learned, and you've got 15 more that just got tossed at you within the past, month and a half, 2 months? So you're overwhelmed. How are you going to do that? And you've got work, you've got a family, you've got kids, you've got church, you've got whatever else you have. Classical, you're stuck. How can you add more to your repertoire? You're just stuck. It seems like you're never going to get through it. What can we do? We can structure our practice hours. Okay? So if you have an hour to practice, that's great. So let's structure it so that we're able to progress. Okay, so we have an hour. So we have the first 5 minutes. Most of us take that time and we dedicate that to exercises. Why is that important? It's very important because it gets our fingers loose and moving and agile and limber, and so we can easily move on the keyboard while learning our songs. Okay, so then that's 5 minutes. So we take 40 minutes and we focus it on the songs that we are currently learning. So if you're going to play for Elise, solfeggiato, minuet in G, let me think of another one just off the top of my head. I don't know. Turkish march. So you got four good classical songs there. What do? You have 40 minutes, 4 songs. What will you do? Take the 40 minutes divided by the number of songs. So 40 minutes divided by 4, that's 10 minutes each song. And you shouldn't have an ungodly amount of songs to practice anyways. If you do, well, you may do a session in the morning, a session in the evening, or, find something that works for you. And again, we can talk about that one-on-one whenever we are in our one-on-one session. So you take the 40 minutes divided by the number of songs. And, you take that and you just focus practice then. You focus your 10 minutes on Freelise. You focus your 10 minutes on solfeggiato. You focus your 10 minutes on minuet in G. You focus your last 10 minutes on Turkish march. Be sure and keep a pen. You can keep a different colored pen. I like to keep all kinds of colored pens at the piano. Why? Because if I am going through my 10 minutes of practicing, I have these pens just lying around. If I get to some problem measures, I'm going to take that pen and I'm going to mark those measures. I'm having trouble with measure 57 through 63, and I'll put an asterisk by them. Why? Well, that way I know which measures those are. So let's move on. Now, if you have a song that doesn't require 10 minutes, you pretty much you've got Freely's almost completed. You almost got it by memory. Maybe you have it by memory. You have it by memory, so you're just, but we haven't taken it off the daily practice. It hasn't went to the weekly, where we just keep it all nice and neat and ready to play. It hasn't went there yet. It's still on our daily practice sheet. So since we don't need all 10 minutes, what do? We practice through it. We do, practice through it 1, 2, 3 times, however you're going to do that. And then you take whatever's left over and you give it to another song that could really use that. Turkish March, man, I'm really struggling with Turkish March. I tell you what, let me take those extra 6 minutes and I am really going to put that into Turkish March. So instead of practicing 10 minutes on Turkish March, I'm going to practice 16. And then keep the others the same. Then take 5 minutes to devote to your theory. So in most of these courses, and my course, we've got theory. We don't really have theory so much where we just focus on theory and it's just teaching theory. What we try to do is integrate that theory into our songs, integrate that theory into our lessons. Why? Because theory is boring. I don't want to teach theory. I teach it, but it's so much funner to teach it while integrating it into the lesson and integrating it into the songs. So whenever we come across something in the songs, if you've noticed, and I'm sure you have, a lot of you have, I'm talking about, hey, this is what we were just talking about. Okay, this is how this plays in on the sheet music. This is how you do this at the piano. So we actually take that theory, and it's not just theory somewhere in a theory book and just, I got to do my theory. No, we integrate it into our actual lessons. So you won't have much theory work to do. But that last 5 minutes you could use for theory, for going back over concepts that maybe you don't understand. So you could definitely use that 5 minutes for that. Now, this is something I really want to encourage all of you to do. I want to encourage every one of you, and whoever will see this recording later, I want everyone to really do this. I want you to get a journal. I want you to get a notebook, something. It can be something simple like this. Okay, y'all see this? Be something simple like this, and a pen, and just keep it on your piano. Why? Because that last 5 minutes, I want you to recap your practice hour. Note exactly what measures you're having trouble with. Remember, I said I keep these pins on the piano. So whenever I'm playing through something, I can just grab that pin and mark the measures. That's why. So you note exactly what measures you're having trouble with. State what you did in your practice time to resolve those troubled measures. So if it's 57 through 63, measures 57 through 63, what did I do with measures 57 through 63? Did I take and practice each hand separately? and then put them together slowly? Or did I take and just start practicing those measures very slowly, and then I just gradually added speed? Did I practice it with my metronome? What did I do? You know, how was it when you first went through those measures? And how did you progress during your practice session? Okay, so track what you are doing. You won't know exactly where you are if you're not tracking it. Oh yeah, well I have some trouble here but you're not really going to, whenever you come to your one-on-one with me, I say, well, what have you been doing? Some of you don't know what you've been doing. You just practice through it. And now I'm having trouble here. Okay, what have you done? What have you tried? How did that work for you? Well, I don't know. So really take those journals, those notebooks, write down. Write it down how it made you feel. Yeah, journaling it's awesome. So, anyways, I know you've all heard me say this quite a lot, but take your music to bed with you. Yes, I know it sounds silly. I know, but read through your music right before you turn the lights out. So if I'm having trouble with measure 57 through 63, so I'm having trouble with those measures, what am I going to do? First of all, I'm going to mark those measures. I'm going to journal those measures. So this is what I've done. It's not working. Da, da, da. I had a little bit of progress here, but not a lot. I'm going to take that score of music with me. And right before I turn out the lights and I go to sleep, I'm going to sit there. I'm going to read through my score of music, just like it's a book. Why? Because I'm giving it to my subconscious. Your subconscious does not sleep. And it will sit there. It will work things out for you. I did this, give you an example. The Representation of Chaos by Franz Joseph Haydn in his oratorio, The Creation. I think there was 2 or 3 measures that I was stuck on for like 2 or 3 weeks. And I mean, I was stuck on it. I could not get it for the love of money. And I was young. I was probably 12, 13, maybe 14. But I remember my piano teacher at that time said, well, take this. You know what measures those are. You know what you've done. It's not working. We've done all kinds of things. We've done everything we can think of. She's like, take it and read through it just like it's a book. Read through the whole thing, but really focus on those troubled measures. And I did that. I went to sleep, didn't think nothing of it. I was like, well, this is stupid. I went to sleep. And about 3 o'clock in the morning or so, I had a dream of how to play it. And I woke up and I said, oh my gosh, that's it. That's it. That's it. I got it. I have it. And so I ran to the piano and I sat down. I played it and I had it. Now, my father at the time was not amused that I had it. He was kind of grouchy. Get off the piano, go to bed. So I did. But, Thomas Edison, I believe it was Thomas Edison, was the one who said, never go to sleep without requesting something from your subconscious. And I know it works. I've done it. So with those troubled measures, take those right before you go to sleep and read through it. It works. Um, so I would like for you every week or every 2 weeks to start a new song to add to your repertoire. And we'll go through this together during your one-on-one time. Now, I'm saying this to my aspiring classical pianist. So, to you who are getting scores thrown at you all the time, weekly, at least pick one song a month that you want to play. Okay. You don't have to pick a song every week or every 2 weeks, depending on how you're doing. But at least pick one song a month that you personally want to add to your repertoire. Band directors give us a repertoire whether we want it or not. Get that one song that you personally want to play. So, to you aspiring classical pianists, really hone in on that as far as the journaling, as far as, reading through that before bed, all that. So we can get you unstuck. And so we can start adding to your repertoire. Now, are you going to have this song perfect in 2 weeks? No, you will not. And depending on the song, it may be one a month. I want to aim for one every 2 weeks, but this is going to depend on you, what your work life looks like, what your family life looks like, what you can commit to for practice. We're going to take everything into consideration. This is just what I'm throwing out here, one every 2 weeks. In about 2 weeks, we should start committing that to memory. Okay. Rather than just we're still stuck on 2 measures, and it's 2 weeks from now, we're still stuck on those 2 measures. Things happen, and I get that. But I would like to add a song every week to 2 weeks. So to you who need to add to your repertoires, I want you to pick a song. Listen to the song. Listen to the song while reading the score. Don't just listen to the song. And you need to listen to the song. Okay. Everyone, you need to listen to your songs. But don't just listen to them and just have some background noise. No, you need to listen to them and read through them. Now you can have it as background noise, if you're going on a walk or whatever. You don't have to go on a walk and you're listening to your music and, reading your music and trying to walk. No. But all jokes aside, listen to your music, but read through the score with it. And of course, practice hands separate, then together slowly, and mark off any of those problem measures. Commit to extra work daily and work on your memory. So while you're working on the memory, find another song. And I touched on that a little bit ago. So while you're working on your memory, find another song that you want to work on. Once it's committed to memory, then we'll place it in the review once a week list, and we'll keep it polished and we'll keep it ready to play. You'll have that for release. Somebody say, "Hey, could you play for release?" Yes, I can play it. And you sit down and play it. So it's the same concept with you who are getting scores thrown at you. Same idea. you'll go through the same process to learn those songs to, really commit those to memory and then keep those, every week where you're polishing them up and keeping them ready to play. Because whenever you play with a band, especially a band, you never really know what they're going to play at practice. You never know. They may throw something at you. And you're like, oh gosh, I practiced this in 6 weeks. We went over it in forever. And then you're lost and you're having to learn it all over again or at least refresh it. So you'll do the same thing to keep it polished and keep it ready to play. So, with that being said, I'm going to go ahead and end the recording here and let's go on. Let's go on to questions.